if you look at this chart here and you look at the chart for the pound dollar, because the dollar and the CAD pretty much are close to each other, you can see that it is the same chart pattern. We are still in the congestion, in the sideways congestion, and there is no definite, the bias is still to the downside in regards, because the trend is down, so the assumption is this thing should break to the downside. If you look at the pound CAD, it is pretty much the same setup. Your trend is to the downside, it is consolidating, moving sideways, but as you can see here, there has been an interesting development which has been very nice in the pound the pound CAD. Our structure points, we had two structure points, one which is the 58.68 and then the 59 handle, and then the one above it is the 160.67, and we closed the week at 160.41. So the pound, even though it is within a congestion, it has been trading, and this has been done for several weeks. This going back till the beginning of May. It comes to the 159 and it bounces back up to the 160.07. You can see this from here to the ones, it comes back down. So it has been behaving so very well, and it's respecting so very well the 159 and the 160.67. Therefore, we do not need to elaborate or to put too much time on that. If this thing is going to go higher, closing at 160.50, my structural long point, and the danger here that you can see on the chart is that we traded above it, yet we have failed to close above it. That is a danger sign. That is a sign that is not conducive to actual continuation. If I'm going to be a betting man, I would say this is good. The odds are this thing is not going to continue higher. I will only buy it if it goes back above the 160.67. So, and that is going to be my structural point. So the pound CAD, I'm going to be a buyer of the pound CAD above above 160.67. That is going to be my structural long point because we're below it. And of course, since that is the case, it will also be my stop, because if I'm taking a trade above a structural point, then that will become my long point and my structure, my structure long and my stop. On the short side, I need to find a short entry for the pound CAD, and as you can see on this chart, towards the end of the session, this is where we were trailing our stops. This is where I think Gavin put his stop on Friday. This thing is pushing higher. It went above, and it did it nicely. I like it when it respects the daily highs. It goes above a daily high and it comes back and respects it. This is actually a pretty powerful kind of a setup, and actually does indicate continuation, but I want to make sure it gets, this is 160.70 right there, so I'm not leaving anything on the table of just 20 pips. But for us to go short, at least let's go short below the market side. So at least the market side will be below the 3 daily high and below the 2 daily high and below the market side. So at least I am taking an average of these price points to initiate a short. So my short will be the 159.93. This will be our short point. And my structure is still the 159, so I have 100 pips below the structure. So I'm going to go short below $159.93. My structural short point is still the 159 even, which is a round number. And if I go short below the 159.93, my stop is going to be a fairly tight stop. I'm going to put it above the 3 daily high, so I'm going to use the 160.20 as my stop. Okay, so for the pound CAD, I'm going to go long above this 160.67, which is my structural point, and we're just like 15 pips away, so that's a good, decent place to enter. And I'm going to use it. It is my next structural point above it, which is, so my long point is my structural long point, and therefore it is going to be my stop. On the short side, I'm going to go short right below the market side at 159.93, and I have a structure short point below it, which is at 159, which is 100 pips away, which is fine. And I'm using only a 20 pip stop in this case, because I'm taking a trade in the direction of the trend. So my stop is going to be the 160.20. Okay, that is the pound CAD. Let me save that.